What is going on, guys? I'm MLS of This Week in MLS, and welcome to episode 8 of the This Week in MLS show. MLS is back, so our show is in full form. From here on out, the structure of this segment with my co-host, who I'll get to in a sec, will be pretty similar. We're going to be recapping the week. It is just so great to have MLS back, and who else would I want to be my co-host than the page runner of MLS_news_, the Lord Will Hanson himself. Will, how are you doing?
Pretty good. How are you?
Good. I'm really sorry for your club this weekend. Better results for mine, but we'll get to that in a sec. Anyways, we're going to start off here with our 3 stars of the week. And first one, we have Nashville Essie's Randall Liao. What do you think of Liao's performance this week for Nashville?
I think he was really good. He had that on their first goal. He had an assist. And then the second one, I'm sure a lot of you have seen it. Tried to cross it, and it went right up over the keeper, off the post, and in.
Can we just take a moment to appreciate the golazos that happen this week? Because
there was like 3 of them that could be goal of the year candidates just in the first week.
Exactly. I mean, Paolo, you got Paul Marie's goal. What else was there? Caden Clark had a banger.
Yeah, he did too.
It was unreal. I mean, Caden Clark's bangers only. But yeah, Randall Liao, that was arguably the best of the week. And obviously his second goal, the banger, ended up getting Nashville the much important point. And wow, first of all, FC Cincinnati having a lead at some point, pretty crazy. Let's go to our second one. And this one kind of feels good for me to say. Chicharito of the LA Galaxy, the man who scored a brace today, already matching his total goals of 2020. What do you make of Chicharito?
I think it's going to be a big year for him. I think obviously it's going to be better than last year. Mm-hmm. And I think with the additions they've made, I think with Cabral and Grandsir, I think he'll have like a better cast to work with him this year, other than just Pavone last year.
I definitely agree. We will get to more Chicharito later in the show during our pass or shoot. But let's finish it off with our number 1 star of the week. You're not going to like this one. I don't even like this one. But Rahul Diaz of the Seattle Sounders. Another team we'll be talking about once again. But let's just talk about Rui Diaz individually. He obviously scored 2 goals against Minnesota United on national television. And sure, he missed that first PK, but he came back. And yeah, what do you make of Rui Diaz's performance?
Obviously, the goals weren't difficult finishes, but he's always in that right spot. He's your typical poacher. And yeah, I think he deserves first star of the week.
Yeah, do you think Rui Diaz right now is the best striker in the league?
I think he's right up there with Bo.
I like it. You know, when you said Bo was going to win the Golden Boot, while I was kind of surprised to see him, I loved the pick. Because you know me, I love the Revs, and I like Gustavo Bo a lot, and I have very high expectations for him. And he got a goal this week as well for the Revs. Might be, I mean, no, it's not a goal of the week candidate, but I would just put it just because Tajon Buchanan got the assist on it. But that is that. But now here is the segment that is unique to our show. And actually, speaking of the Revs, I'm going to shout out Revolution Central, who came up with this idea for me. It is the stale player of the week. And for those out there, I will explain it once now so that you guys know every week. The stale player of the week is someone who's been in MLS for a very long time, and you kind of forgot about them, but they're still a starter. And when you see them starting on the field, you're like, whoa, it is 2021, and this guy is still in the league. Wow. So with that being said, Will, let me know your pick.
I'm going with Bobby Shuttleworth. I think he obviously played with the Revs forever, and then played for Minnesota, my team. A lot of people didn't really like him when he was on our team, but I didn't really have a problem with him. And then, of course, he's playing for Chicago still now.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of surprising that he's a starting goalkeeper. I guess it's less surprising that the team is Chicago, given how mediocre they are. But honestly, I think we're going to see a lot of American goalkeepers on the stale player of the week list throughout the season. And yeah, Bobby was one of the players I was definitely considering for this because I watched the whole entire Revs match, and it was just kind of weird to see Shuttleworth. And I don't think he's going to be the normal starter. I thought Cronholm was the starter there.
But he stepped in for Cronholm last year when he was hurt, and I would expect Kronholm to be the starter this year.
Yeah, it's whatever Raphael Wiki wants, and the Chicago Fire management's always going to be a hot mess. So it is what it is. But shout out to Bobby for getting a start in 2021. He is the definition of a stale player for sure. And another one is the definition of a fossil in Major League Soccer. I'm talking about Oscar Boniek Garcia of the Houston Dynamo. The man's just like 38 years old. He's been in the league since before I could walk, basically. And this weekend, the very first match of the season, he played center back, which is absolutely insane. Not only is Oscar Boniek Garcia a midfielder still in the league, he is starting opening day as the captain for the Houston Dynamo at center back. Obviously, they had a lot of injuries, but he paired up with Tim Parker, and the club actually got the win, which is amazing. But just the fact that Boniek Garcia is still in that lineup, stale player right there. But he did play well. And speaking of the Houston Dynamo, let's head into our pass or shoot questions. And the Dynamo, they beat the San Jose Earthquakes in the very first match of the 2021 MLS regular season, 2-1 at home. Will, do you think the Dynamo are good?
I don't think they're bad. I had them as one of my sleeper picks for the predictions. Obviously, the Earthquakes aren't a juggernaut. I could see them sneaking in the playoffs.
So you're going to shoot this one?
Yeah, I think so.
I would love to agree with you, but just because they just because they beat the Thick Boy United Earthquake, I gotta say pass. I don't think the Dynamo are going to be anything special. I mean, they didn't demolish the Earthquakes or anything. They didn't play a tough team like Portland or an LAFC or Minnesota. So yeah, I mean, you can't really base much yet. Obviously, anything is going to be a hot take right now because we've just seen one match, but which honestly makes it more fun for me, and all the followers hate me even more. But yeah, I'm gonna go with a pass here. I don't think Houston are gonna make the playoffs still.
I don't think they're good, but I don't think they're as bad as people think they are.
That is fair. I don't think they will be worst in the West.
Yeah.
I think fair. I mean, I think Real Salt Lake's got that on lock, who didn't even play this week. Imagine being that bad to where you don't even have a match opening weekend.
Yeah, they had to pick one team that couldn't play the first week. And Minnesota has them as their home opener next weekend.
Which actually we'll talk about later in the show with Dayne St. Clair, who I did interview before the Sounders versus Minnesota match. So we unfortunately won't get to talk about that PK save. But yeah, I mean, it's hilarious to me that out of all the teams that got the first week bye, it was the team that no one cares about. Honestly, the team a lot of players even and pundits forget about. So
yeah.
Well, here's a guy that we mentioned earlier that the pundits definitely have not forgotten about, Chicharito. We kind of answered this earlier, but pass or shoot, Will, is Chicharito back to elite form?
I think this is a shoot. I think Chicharito can score 15 or more goals this year.
I think 15 would be a perfect amount for him, given how awful he was. I would like to shout out Ethan Zubak, the absolute GOAT for assisting that first goal. But no, I'm going to shoot as well. I mean, I'm very pessimistic about Chicharito, but after today, I got to be a little more positive. I mean, he's already scored 2 goals, which is just as good as last season. So it's very hard for it to get worse. That's all I could really say about that. And our last one, we mentioned with Rui Diaz, the Sounders defeated Minnesota United 4-0. And both you and I predicted the Sounders to be a lot lower than they normally are, at least over the past 5 or so years. Are the Sounders the best team in the West? Pass or shoot?
I'm gonna have to pass on that one. I don't think they're the best, but they definitely played better than I thought they would for the first game of the season. But I still think Portland and LAFC are ahead of them for sure.
Yeah, I'm gonna agree there. I think they might be ahead of LAFC right now just because of the playoff bragging rights between the two clubs. But no, I don't think they're the best team in Cascadia. I still am so high on the Portland Timbers until they get absolutely clapped by the Whitecaps later. So yeah, Sounders are better than 5th right now in the West, as I predicted them. So let's head into our meme of the week. We've only talked about like 3 matches in this episode, but I think they were kind of the 3 most important matches. So we're going to go back to the Houston-San Jose match. I'm going to pull up our meme of the week. It is a super bad reference from Real MLS Memes. Out of all the season openers, you landed on Houston versus San Jose. Why the F would the season opener be Houston versus San Jose? This is obviously a reference to the legendary McLovin, who got his fake ID from Hawaii. And yeah, I got to agree with this one. Why did MLS? I mean, they should have let the Sounders Minnesota match start the season, or maybe even this Columbus Philadelphia match, you know, the battle between the MLS Cup and Supporter Shield champs.
The game had such irrelevant teams that they didn't even put it on TV. This game was on ESPN Plus.
Yeah, which it deserved. I would not want this game to be on Fox or ABC. It was something. I was expecting even like LAFC, Austin FC to get that treatment. But no, I mean, it really felt like MLS kicked off once that Minnesota-Seattle match kicked off. And it seemed like this Houston-San Jose match was really the warm-up. And honestly, though, the San Jose Earthquakes looked like they were still in preseason during this match. Yeah. That is really that. Well, anyways, Will, that's all I got for you. Thank you so much for joining me. Where can everyone find you?
I run MLS_news on Instagram. I've been reporting news for 4 years now, so if you want to go follow that.
Anyways, I'm the host of This Week in MLS, and coming up after the break, we got Dayne St. Clair of Will's Minnesota United. Thank you so much, Will. Welcome back to episode 8 of the This Week in MLS show. Today, I am joined by rising star goalkeeper Dayne St. Clair of the Minnesota United Loons, whatever you want to call them. Dayne, how are you doing, man?
I'm doing great. Thanks for having me. How you doing?
I am doing excellent. Both you and I just came off watching that Toronto FC victory. We love seeing the MLS clubs advance, and I'm excited for Minnesota United to make the 2022 CCL, obviously.
Yeah, that's the goal for sure.
Oh, yeah. But let's start off with your college career. Everyone knows on this channel that I'm a huge college soccer guy. And not only did you attend college at University of Maryland, but you won a national championship. And in that tournament, you were the most outstanding player. So I just want to ask you, just what was your college experience like winning that championship?
Yeah, I mean, I think looking back on my last year there, it's a memory that will be there for the rest of my life. But looking back at my whole experience, it was definitely had its ups and downs. So to be able to leave their national championship with some of my best friends was definitely a moment and experience I'll cherish for the rest of my life.
Who are some teammates that you still keep in touch with?
Eric Williamson from Portland Timbers, Sebastian Elney, who's at Hartford right now, Andrew Samuels, I think are kind of like my main crew. And then, of course, you have guys like Amar. Of course, me and Chase are still teammates here. So, yeah, that's just to name a few.
Yeah, so you named a lot of guys that are currently playing professional soccer, and that kind of leads me to what I want to ask you next about the college path to pro. You were obviously drafted pretty early in the 2019 Super Draft, and I just want to know, like, what do you make of the college path to pro? Do you recommend it, and do you think that maybe scouts are sleeping on it?
I think the teams that do their research do well. I mean, you look at Minnesota picking up Hassani in the second round and was up for Rookie of the Year his rookie year, and continuing to trend well. Of course, did well with the U23s. So, I mean, there's definitely players in the draft. You look at Daryl DK right now and what he's doing, not only what he did in the MLS, but also in the championship. So I think there's definitely a place for it. But, of course, now with academies and things like that, it's maybe the total level is dropping off. But I think there's definitely still good players, which you'll find no matter where you look.
Just some context for the viewers out there. In 2019, Minnesota United drafted Dayne, Hassani Dotson, and Chase Gasper, 3 impact players for them. So if you guys are sleeping on the Super Draft, that is just a great example proving you wrong. In 2019, obviously a rookie season, you were not the starter for Minnesota because there was a man in front of you, Vita Manone, who ended up winning the goalkeeper of the year. I just wanted to know, did you learn anything from him that kind of benefited you once you were getting your own minutes?
Yeah, I was able to learn a lot. I was actually very excited when he came in. Of course, I knew for my playing it probably would go down, but just being able to learn from him. I remember when I was a kid watching him play in the Premier League, so to be able to be teammates with him was something special, and he was a great person for me as well because he was more than happy to share things and allow me to learn from him. So I think I'm very grateful for his experience here, and I was able to learn a lot from him, just seeing how he was as a pro on and off the field on a daily basis.
Yeah, so during that year, though, you were loaned out a couple times to Ford Madison. FYI, they have the best soccer kits in the entire world. And then also San Antonio. What were those experiences like for you? And like, I mean, those were your first professional minutes. How was that?
Yeah, I mean, Madison, we had a partnership there with my rookie year. So I was able to drive back and forth. It's like a 4-hour drive from Minneapolis. So I was able to drive back and forth there a few times to get some games, and their kits are definitely something special. Still have a few hanging up in my closet. And then this past year, I started off the season on loan to San Antonio, which I think was a great experience for me to be able to continue to get some game minutes and really bolstered my confidence before I got recalled.
Yeah, and then obviously, so in 2020, Tyler Miller, the starting goalkeeper at the time for Minnesota, goes down with an injury in August, and you step up right away, and you're playing fantastically immediately. So what made that transition so smooth for you?
Yeah, I think just being able to get the minutes before, get some comfortable in game time. I think especially as a goalie, you can train as much as you want, but to familiarize in the goal and where you are in the positioning and things like that is very important. So to be able to get those games in San Antonio before I came back, I think really made me confident, and the guys in front of me made it easy for me to join and rejoin the team as well.
I'm not going to ask you about what happened against Seattle. I don't want you to have to go through that. However, I want to talk about the positives of the playoffs with you, and that Sporting Kansas City match. You were absolutely fantastic. I just want to know, like, what was going through your mind in those moments when you beat SKC 3-0 and you made some incredible saves, especially early on in that match.
Yeah, I think as a goalie, my job is to try to keep the team in the game and answer when I'm called upon. It could mean that's in the 90th minute, or it could mean that's in the first minute. So I think just always staying ready and just trying to give the team a chance. And I think made some key saves early that were able to bolster us and allow us to push forward and give us some confidence. And going into the game, of course, we knew it was going to be a tough one. SKC on the road is never an easy game, but I think we went in with the mindset that it was a game that we could go in there and win. I think mindset's the most important thing.
So now let's move on to 2021. So coming off that Western Conference Finals appearance, the furthest Minnesota has made it in their short history. First of all, what are your expectations for the club in 2021? Is it MLS Cup or bust right now?
I think we definitely want to leave this season with the trophy, of course. Losing in 2019 in the Open Cup final, losing in the semifinals of MLS is back, and then this past year losing in the Western Conference final. I think it's definitely a year that we want to walk away with the trophy, if not more than one.
Yeah, so in 2021, so obviously there's a bit of competition now that Tyler Miller is back. How are you asserting yourself as the starter for Minnesota United?
Yeah, I think going into this year is kind of something that we both knew was going to happen, and I think we knew that at the end of the day it would come down to the coaches. So just trying to push ourselves and push each other, because we know at the end of the day we want to both continue to grow and to learn, and whoever's called upon on that day will perform, and just being in the best state possible. And fortunately enough for me, my name's been called so far, and I hope that it continues to be called.
So heading now this coming week, you'll be facing off against RSL in your second match of the season. What are you looking at in terms of RSL's play style or what they got?
Yeah, I mean, of course they had a big acquisition with signing Bobby Wood, so that's definitely someone I'm going to have to be aware of. It's our home opener, and last year we weren't able to play with fans at all, so kind of feels like double wrap the home opener. So it's definitely a game that we definitely want to come out and win, of course, in front of our fans, to just pay the tribute to everything, especially with all the stuff that's going on in Minneapolis right now with police brutality and those type of situations, which is very unfortunate. We hope that we can just kind of give the community something else to think about and something to celebrate.
Speaking more on that, have there been any talks about postponing any matches?
I haven't heard anything about postponing, but some of the players, of course, we have the back players for change and things like that. So we're considering doing something internally to see what we can do to help the family and to just continue to fight police brutality as a whole.
Can you maybe speak more on your involvement in the Black Players for Change movement?
Yeah, I mean, I think last year, of course, something kind of sparked, and it's sad that someone like George Floyd was the thing that sparked a lot of things, but I also think that being able to benefit and grow and continue to educate more people, and I think that we have a lot of things that we're looking to do this year to continue to educate and learn ourselves as well.
Yeah, no, definitely. So, a few weeks ago on my show, a man named Kamal Miller talked with me about some FIFA, and he said that you and him have played around like 1,000 games of FIFA against each other, whether it's pro clubs or just casual. And he says he's got the upper hand in the rivalry. What do you think of that?
Probably in the earlier days, yeah, but we just played at national camp this past thing, and let's just say I won more games than he did.
Okay, what team were you playing? I know he likes Bayern.
I like to switch up my team. I don't like to stay consistent. I think that makes it fun being able to play with all other teams. But I think we were doing PSG because that was the Champions League game coming up. So just live matches, things like that, just to make things fun. You know what I mean?
It makes sense because PSG ended up beating Bayern, so you beating Kamal just seems right. Anyways, that's all I got for you. Thank you so much for hopping on the show. And to all the viewers out there, make sure you follow Dayne on all his platforms, Instagram, Twitter, whatever. Is there anything else you want to plug, by the way?
No, I'm good. Yeah, thank you.
Anyways, thank you so much. That is going to do it for episode 8 of the This Week in MLS show, and I'll see you guys in the next video.
Shade is the goat. Red shade is the goat. Red shade is the goat. Red shade is the goat. Oh, so. Oh, so. Oh, so. Oh, so.
I'll see you guys in the next video.